elections. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has revealed that it has already begun preparation for the 2019 general elections. Also, a Lagos lawmaker, Prince Adebisi Yusuf, on Saturday advised INEC to be ready to face new challenges in the forthcoming elections and also to address them accordingly. Now, this is keeping it mildly, if you know what I mean. A lot of brouhaha has been brewing on social media on this forthcoming elections and all of that. What should INEC really be doing? What shouldn't they be doing as regarding what has happened in past elections?
Well, for me, the greatest threat to 2020 election is the social media.
Social media.
Honestly, and we need to be very, very careful in this country. You know, it's a situation whereby everybody has turned himself or herself to journalists. I agree there's what we call citizen journalism. But you see, there are so many fake news out there. So imagine somebody says, right, on the social media, that ballot boxes have been snatched at Ajibule. And it's fake news. Can you imagine the effects on people in Ikeja?
I wish I could allow you to end. I wish I could, but I think the greatest threat to election manipulation in Nigeria is the social media.
That's what I'm saying.
No, you said the greatest threat to election.
You are talking about manipulation.
The manipulation of election by politicians is the social media. It's the social media that is putting them in check.
No,
we're talking about. He said the greatest threat is social media. You are saying it is not.
The greatest threat to the manipulation of election, not the election itself.
It's the same thing.
No,
it's the same thing. Listen to me. Let me
put it in another one.
Let him land. Okay. Let's take it one after the other.
Now, what I'm saying is this: if results, if the ballot box is snatched, and then it's not snatched, then you are trying to, eat up the system. Now, if results are disclosed and not accurately disclosed, and you put a wrong figure on the social media, there will be problem. So we really need to be responsible when we are posting on social media. That's why I say the greatest threat to election in Nigeria, whether result or manipulation, is the social media. We need to be very careful what we write on social media during elections, because to some people it is a matter of life and death.
Okay. All right, well said, because I understand from Mr. Ikem's point of view. Now, let's take a look at the underage voters that actually came out. Do you understand? A lot of people saw it. INEC came and they actually disclaimed it and they said, oh, no, that it never existed. But over the weekend, the ex-chairman of INEC came out and he said that he was actually threatened about the same issue.
That's why they are like,
so if not social media, I don't think that's issue would have probably been resurrected, because
I think that social media is not even a threat to anything at all. Nigeria isn't there yet. You see, when was it 2015 when we're all going change, yes, I can tell you that there was going to be a statistics to say how many people on social media actually went out to vote. How many of those back and forth, all that fighting and all that brouhaha actually translated to actual votes? You'd be surprised it's less than 20%.
Very, very, very low.
When I was coming to the studio, and exactly what she said, she took the words right out of my mouth. Underage voters are the biggest threat to be either manipulation, like you're saying, or what you also said as well. It is underage voters, and that is a problem. I have seen pictures. I have seen these people, they are registering them as we speak. I was talking about social media. Who cares about social media on Facebook? I mean, at the end of the day, INEC is not going to go on Facebook or Twitter and Instagram and say, oh, okay, well, this is where we're going to collect our results.
Whatever you write on social media doesn't really count, in terms of votes.
Yes, in other clients, it would count. We saw how social media, affected the American elections, how it affected elections in France, in Germany. But I'm sorry, in Africa, we are far from social media. How many people even have data? Let's even start from that. I mean, like you said, I'm marketing and communications. I'm working with a client who is still trying to reach the unreached as per connection, as per data, and all. You think those people in Northeast and all those people care about whatever? All they need to do is get on a radio, I won't mention the radio station, and listen to what it is that's being said there, and that's what they do, or whatever it is their religious leaders tell them to do. So we're talking about, we're not even scratching, social media isn't even scratching the surface as per 2019 elections. We have bigger issues to deal with, much bigger issues, and we're not talking about that.
Mr. Ikem.
Well, okay.
What I was trying to point out is we actually need the social media and need it very strongly. The conversations there help, it helps shape public opinion. If it's not for the conversations on social media, I don't think even INEC would have even said anything about this underage registration now. During those times when people were announcing all what they want, one party is announcing this one, the other party is announcing this one. At the end of the day, we actually came to a middle. The social media is not threat. When you were raising this question, you said, what should INEC be doing? And what should INEC not be doing? The answer is simple and straightforward. INEC has only one job cut out for it. Prepare for elections, prepare for elections, prepare for elections. At every point in time, there is no reason for INEC to exist except to be ready for elections. Ready in terms of track and arrest this underage voting, ready in terms of track and arrest multiple voter registration, put measures in place that capture people in real terms. If they are, what do they call it, PVC and electronic voting will work, let them deploy it to make sure we have credible elections. Social media cannot be a threat. INEC is the threat to itself because half the time they are not ready. It's 12 months now, 365 days ahead. I don't know any excuse they will have.
I don't think even the budget has been concluded yet. But having said that, I think I still understand what Mr. Kukpolue was trying to say. Because sometimes the way matters are being reported, can go a long way in determining, people's mood.
So can we say that INEC needs to capture social media now, which is what America is doing now. After social media affected their elections, they are stepping back now and they are saying, they're talking to Facebook, they're talking to Twitter, they're talking to all those platforms and saying, okay, you people allowed this happen. You kind of fueled it because you could have stopped it at some point. So is somebody sitting down and has this, I hope are
we talking about censorship now?
No,
like
censoring people that have seen what has happened in other climes and are saying we don't want this to happen in Nigeria.
Okay.
You understand? And are taking charge of it, which is what he's saying. Are there people that are already saying, okay, let's start to own the conversation? Because if they don't own, if INEC doesn't own that conversation, we will own the conversation for them. And we'll push it based on our own selfish agenda.
Don't forget, if we start drilling into what happened in America, we can't even compare it to what we have here.
What happened here?
Russians came in from the snippets I've got, came in, registered on Facebook as American citizens and pushing conversations to Americans as Americans when they're not Americans. So if we're expecting that we're going to have people from Niger Republic or Ghana coming here to register as Nigerians and then go to social media and be pushing narratives as if they are Nigerians, and not just Nigerians, critical stakeholders with promoted posts, spending money, then that is an issue. This is just an ordinary citizen like me, sitting somewhere in a solo and probably in a polling booth and somebody announces a result and I put it on Facebook. If we even take those things a bit seriously, it is going to work as a check against rigging.
Rigging.
Which is why I said that social media may be a tool against election manipulation, not against the election itself. That was what I was trying to point out.
Okay, my point is this. The recklessness of those who post on social media threatens every society. When you post things on social media without having a deeper thinking of the effects of the society. Okay, a lot of people post false information. I don't know if you ever come across such.
Don't worry, Donald Trump has thought about taught us fake
No. I don't know if you ever come across such. So how do you want to deal with that? In my opinion is this, that if you don't check it, it will lead to chaos.
Did you hear her?
No, listen to me. It will lead to chaos.
No, just she said they should own the narrative. They should seize the conversation. They should lead the conversation.
Is that what I'm talking about? So if the way they use the narrative,
So
does that not mean? Does that not mean that
we cannot curb this fake news? We cannot curb the recklessness, like you said.
Because
you cannot come and snatch my phone and say I should not post on my wall.
That's not the way to.
It's a reality we can't escape from.
That is not. That is not.
Own the narrative.
That is not the.
How do we do what you're describing, Mr. Kukolu?
Okay, what I'm saying is we need effective enlightenment campaign.
Like National Orientation Agency.
Well, I've not said that. You are the one saying
These
that.
guys are not effective.
No,
the real thing
wait
is
now.
INEC
You are
owns this
condemning
thing.
everything Nigeria. You believe Nigeria is a failed nation or what?
No.
Agency works
Oh
in
my
Nigeria.
God.
Listen to me.
We're not
Listen to me.
saying that. We're
Listen
just
to me.
saying
My take is this.
we
My take
wait
is
until
this.
the last minute before we do stuff.
That is a
in this
problem.
country.
That is a problem.
We
So
need
now
February.
that's the essence of
11 months.
platform like this. And that's the essence of platform like this, to engage the people and let them realize the fact that it's not everything you see on social media that you follow.
No, wait. Let me
Or
ask
you
you a
respond
question.
to.
Have you, over the past 6 months, followed INEC's social media accounts?
Hey.
That is part of the
How
problem.
are they seizing this conversation?
No.
What have you taken out from the INEC social media accounts in terms of
I
this
think-
is their
I
strategic
think-
direction, this is their tactical approach to some of these things?
I think
I
you are.
sent a tweet to INEC.
I think you are agreeing with my view. Anyway.
Am I going to re-register?
For-
Nobody has answered. Nobody has responded to my
That's what I'm
tweet
saying. So
today.
how are they
That
going
I
have
to lead
a
the conversation?
PVC.
if they are not
She
talking?
tweeted at
I
INEC.
tweeted that because I didn't understand. People were saying go to register. I said okay, but for people like us who still have a PVC, is it still valid?
They say you should go and register. I'm telling you.
They
I'm
say-
just hearing this. Who is they? Are you?
I said it now.
I tweeted.
Even the governor of Lagos said it. That you
I
are going to
tweeted.
register again.
Why should I go and re-register?
When I already
It's
have
just-
So they
a
expect that
Just-
someone
you
should
know,
be able
That's
to
why
come
it's
out.
called
Even
a
I'm from
permanent
Enugu State, who have lived in
voters
Lagos
card.
for over 20 years.
PVC.
My governor in Enugu State is leading conversations around people going to register to vote. He's not doing that because he likes his people to exercise franchise alone. He's doing that because the more he canvasses for the more the chances of him getting votes. But the people who owns this transaction is
The
INEC.
INEC.
You see,
136.5%. INEC owns this conversation. And if you are not seeing them telling their story, if you're not seeing them
engaging the people,
then that is when you give even wider room for those fake news to
come
tell those stories which will trend. All of us studied journalism, some of us did. Negative stories trend more. No strong positive stories 80% of the time will make front page.
you see, bad news travels fast.
That's why a magazine like a publication like Reader's Digest came up to see how they can propagate positive, good news. Where is Reader's Digest today? Till tomorrow, it's still those negative vibes that make all the headlines. So if anybody, INEC waits for people to tell their stories, and those people have other vested interests, they know who they manipulate, and they tell these negative stories, it will trend. It will go further. So this is the time for them to sit up, find the resources, and they're all over this place, including those people packaging those negatives. They could become tools for INEC to change the way they push their conversations.
Okay. All
As
right.
if they are pushing at all.
Okay.
Don't forget
Quickly.
the question you put at me is this: the greatest threat to 2019 election, and all their views pointed to the fact that this is the social media.
That's not true. Maybe you're not listening.
Because one, you have asked for INEC to check, to take over the narrative, and that means INEC needs to beam a searchlight on social media.
No.
That is my suggestion.
Okay, all right. Let's move the spotlight from INEC a bit here, and let's talk about the electorate itself. Those of us that would vote, and all that, because people have different mindsets, different understanding of what should or should not take place come 2019. Okay. How would you say, as an electorate, a registered one? I have a PVC, by the way, and I don't know how convenient it would be for me to go re-register. So I think that is one thing they should start looking at anyways. But how should people like us, the voters, start getting ready for the forthcoming elections?
Well, have your PVC follow political conversations, study those presenting themselves for elections, those asking for your votes, know the right person to vote for. It's simple. Theirs is to pitch. Ours is to look at them. What are they pitching at us? What value propositions do they have in comparative terms? And then you select whoever. Behave like a normal Nigerian, good Nigerian, go on that day, vote, and stay back to listen to the announcement of that result. So that at least tomorrow you can say that, yes, there were 300 votes cast in my polling unit, and when they got to local government, it didn't become 301. When they got to the state, it didn't become 5,301. That is your duty, and if all of us as individuals give this kind of, have this kind of sense of duty and commitment, exercise this thing from beginning to the end, you can see that the gaps that these people exploit to inflate votes and most probably allocate victory to sell somebody who otherwise lost will significantly be reduced.
Okay. So taking from Mr. Ike, I would say we should not, as the electorate, we should not just go there and be voters. We should also become the electoral police.
Okay.
We should form those kinds of groups by ourselves, because are we not tired? We go on this same social media we're talking about, we go on social media, we complain and complain and complain and complain. Now is the time, because the truth is the rigging doesn't, for people like you and I, you know, we go stroll to the polling booths, cast your vote at 9 a.m., 10 a.m. when the sun is out, we go back. The real people who would come to rig these elections are out by 2 p.m. when it's blazing hot. 3 p.m., 4 p.m. and then when you know, voting ends, that is when the magic happens. And you will say, within all 60 of us, and then how the 500 people come into exactly. So we should be ready to be uncomfortable. Nigerians, we don't want to just endure that, or give. You know, it won't take forever. Just let's be ready to be uncomfortable to make this change happen. And like Zeki has said, do not vote based on your stomachs anymore. Think about your children. Think about children unborn. Are we not tired of these same people? I mean, before the show started, we're talking about something, a crisis as far as I'm concerned, in Lagos State. Are we not tired? And then this same person will come in 2019 and would want to vote those kind of people in again. I mean, are we not tired? So do not just be a voter. Don't just come out at 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. and cast your vote and go home. Stand and guard your vote and see it to a logical end. See it to a logical end. Become the electoral police for yourself. That's what I have chosen. That's what I have said I will do in 2019.
Wow.
And I hope people...
I stand with you, Esosa.
So okay, Mr. Kupolu, why did you have to give me that smile?
He's getting more political now. And of course, it's all right. I think
it's not about political.
The electoral commissioners in Lagos State, they have spoken. And,
yeah. As far as people need to get this straight. As far as you are not a villain living in the state, as far as you are a legal tax-paying citizen of any state, you become the electoral commissioner, because
it's one of your civic responsibilities.
All of us cannot lead. All of us cannot become governor. All of us cannot become commissioner.
But you can be an active follower.
So we decide and say, okay, Alero, go and represent us. And if you're not representing us well, we kick you out and bring somebody else in. It's nobody's birthright. Let's stop treating governance like it's my birthright.
Inheritance.
It's my inheritance.
Okay.
It's not.
All right, Mr. Kupolu, really, because I know there's a lot of, should I say, illiteracy on the part of the electorate. Yes. So many issues, proliferation of political parties. You get confused at some point, really. Who is the candidate for this parties you've never heard before? There's so many issues lumped together, you know, when it comes to general elections. What should the electorate be doing?
Well, I think I want to take it from the angle that political parties failed. Because one of the functions of political parties is to enlighten the electorate.
We agree with you.
So
I agree.
Are we forming factions on this table?
No. You see,
now you are for the people.
Okay, all right.
Let me quickly say this. You know, I can understand your political sentiments, you understand? But the fact remains that I have the right to say my view.
True.
You know, you understand? I have the right to say my view. Because you were making point about the fact that people in Lagos should vote, that this should not continue. You are making very reference to the current administration.
No.
Let me talk now. Let me talk.
They were actually talking about the death.
I didn't
What?
I did not punctuate you when you are talking.
Okay, let's hear him out. Let's hear him out. All right, let's hear him
So,
out.
like I was saying, political parties failed, and of course, they should have engaged the electorate,
yes.
to understand the fact that, look, we don't want underage registration, get your PVC. They are supposed to enlighten them on the timeline, you know, and let them understand the fact that, okay, this is where you vote, this is your polling booths, these are the colors you will see, these are the colors, the agents that will come from our party, from this party, and so on and so forth. They are supposed to engage the people in political education, so there will not be a problem. You know, I also agree with the fact that after voting, you should stay behind and ensure your votes are counted, and of course, you know the result before you go. You should also try to shy away from the fact, resist, you know, any attempt to be bribed, to be given pittance, you know, before you vote.
All right, then definitely this topic is not going to be concluded without talking about security in the states, because now in a state like Benue State, they've actually suspended campaigns for now. So what do you think? Is it the IG, the police officers, the security officers, security of lives, even the youth corporates also need to do it?
Security-wise.
Yes, sir.
I thought you were looking at him. I thought,
what do you think we should do?
No.
Security-wise, because people are already saying this election will be interesting and memorable, and you know what I mean. So, security-wise, really, what should we be doing?
Well, everybody should be on the lookout. You know, it's our responsibility. It's our citizens' responsibility to ensure that there is peace, order, you know, anywhere we're trying to vote. We should not look away and allow anybody to snatch ballot boxes or try to inflate or write wrong figures. You know, it is a collective responsibility. You know, in those places that they have given instruction that they should stop campaign, you know, I think it is not normal, you know, maybe except they have other issues, because as long as you follow INEC lay down timetables, you are in order.
Okay. All right, Mr. Ike.
Well, I usually have issues with our approach to security in Nigeria. We follow the path of show of force and presence than intelligence based security. Election is happening today. You have 5,000 policemen deployed, and you have an announcement. Before mobile policemen are moved from one detachment to another, you go over the air, 5,000 mobile policemen from Ibadan. What are you doing? You are even compromising the integrity of that security apparatus. You are compromising the security of even those security men. Let us use more of our heads. And if the heads at the high level, from the police to the DSS to the military, can, please, let us have a neutral security outfit.
For the elections?
For the elections.
Okay.
Let us have a neutral security outfit that will come and be the policeman of Ikemokuhu National Political Association of Nigeria and a Social Patriotic Front of Nigeria and the Odukupoli Solidarity Movement.
Okay.
That is the security I want to see. If they are neutral, Party A will not outrank Party B because
you don't know who is
happens
who. Oh, okay.
in the presence of security.
Okay. Okay. I get what you're saying. So, you want to say something?
I totally agree. We need to start to use more of intelligence when it comes to security and man guarding generally in this country. We need to. I mean, like you said, you are deploying 10,000 policemen or security people to a polling booth, and it's already gone. This same social media we're talking about, you're saying it on Facebook. Oh, 10,000 people heading to polling booth A. I mean, these things we should we have it. I think we have 11 months to actually put things in proper perspective, put things in place. And I believe, I hope that this one Mr. Kukulu is signing here. I believe that it's possible. I mean, we would not get better if we don't try. We would not get better if we don't try. We keep saying, oh, I mean, you said when he was trying to make a comment that is it that we already believe that this is a failed state. And it's because of comments that, it can never be done. Let's try. Maybe let's use this next election to right. There are a lot of wrongs that we keep talking about after, you know, a group has been elected. Let's go back to the drawing board.
Let's make it right this time.
Make it right this time.
Okay.
He mentioned, because he kept emphasizing public enlightenment. INEC has a very fat budget for it. What do? Print some plastic, flat, not very lively posters, one man, one vote, and they will mark that long carrot like this, and it's gone. Once in a while, they bring their people to a program like this and they talk. That social media you're fearing is your strongest tool now, because it's touching everybody. Everybody's attention is around INEC. If they start tweeting, if they start Instagramming, if they start Facebooking, all eyes are centered around that, and it will travel far. And it is cheaper than all those ones they deploy, that it won't even give them anything. You can do a promoted post for less than 30,000 naira.
You don't even need, send out something on WhatsApp. You'll be surprised
how many people.
No, I'm just saying, do a of less than 30K. And you see how many people will continue sharing it. Why? Because it is something from our collective pot, INEC.
Okay. All right. We just hope, like Esosa said, you know, this time we'll do it differently.
Yeah, I
Quickly,
hope
Mr.
we
Kukulu.
understand the psyche of Nigerian politicians. You know, when you say that we should do more of intelligence gathering and not have physical policemen and soldiers.
No, we didn't say not. We did not say that there should be physical.
Do more of
once you get 60% of intelligence right, of course 40%. We need physical now.
What informed those postings?
We need those physical.
It's intelligence gathering.
Okay, all right. We have to move on. We have to move on.
I said you want the whole thing to end in chaos.
We need to move. I love Mondays on this show.
I said you want it to end in chaos. We need these policemen, soldiers at the polling booth.
And they will be there. They must be there. We're not saying that they will not. We never said they should not be there.
We're just saying they should do more.
They should do more.
Okay, let's move on. Still talking about security. There seems to be increased concerns over security levels at our airports. But before we get into that, let's take this very funny chicken moment on social media. We'll be back.
Don't make her drink water.
Sangrando, não, acho feio isso, viu? Você não dá fio nada aí, acha bonito. Que nada. Esse galo aqui já tá falando. Esse galo é o café. Depois de que esse galo é o cão, é a cachorra que corre dentro. Ele tá vendo? Você tá lá? Você tá vendo?
All right, so you know that's a chicken. It's chicken or a hen that chasing a dog. You know, the reverse should have been the case. But you know, when I saw this video, what came to my mind is the fact that nothing is utterly impossible. You know, whatever it is that you think you want to do, don't let anything hold you back. That is the inspiration I got from that. Because if a chicken can pursue a dog, then anything can happen. Anything can happen. All right, moving on from there, let's talk about our airports. A security scare occurred at the Murtala Muhammed Airport in Lagos on Thursday night as burglars attacked Air Peace aircraft at the airport while it was taxiing to take off to Abuja. We hear that the aircraft was attacked by unknown bandits on the domestic runway of the airport. Now we hear it's not the first time that burglars would do this. In January this year, at the same airport, while two Nigerian musicians, Wizkid and Tiwa Savage, were returning from Uyo, it was alleged that the cargo compartment was also burgled and Tiwa Savage lost her luggage. Even though the Federal Airports Authority said this didn't happen, Tiwa insisted that it did. Back in March 2013, 3 police officers and a civilian were killed when armed robbers attacked a bureau de charge at the same Murtala Muhammed Airport. In yet another curious incident early this month, an emergency exit door fell off a Dana Air airplane with 120 passengers on board while taxiing to the apron area of the Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport in Abuja. Now, the airline and the passengers have been trading blames, back and forth on what actually caused the door to fall off. While the airline said the door couldn't have come off without conscious human effort, the passenger said no passenger was near the door when it fell off. Now, this has brought a lot of concerns regarding security. We know that with transportation there will be incidences, mishaps and all of that, but when it comes to air travel, any kind of incident can be a fatality. You know what I mean? So it brings a lot of concern. Airport security, Mr. Ikem, let's talk about it.
The problem is we have come to misunderstand public relations in this country. Whereby once anything happens, people are throwing out all manner of information, mostly to defend themselves, not even to present the truth, even where presenting the truth would have solved the problem. FAN will lie, TY didn't lose their luggage. You have somebody in your studio here that has had that very sad experience. Okay. 2013, 2014 or so, I was to go for a conference in Dakar, Senegal. We were to travel here around 11 p.m. Arik, I will mention their name. The plane didn't take off until around 2. When we were to take off, instead of a Boeing 737, they brought these Embraer jets. My small hand luggage that was supposed to have fitted into the compartment, the compartment area, they had to ask me to bring it down for tagging. I brought it down, they tagged it. My laptop was inside that thing, and it was already late. So I just gave it to them, they tagged it and put it in there. I was to present a paper in a conference in Goree Island. We got down, they picked me up, took me to the hotel in Dakar. I opened my bag to take my laptop to go and join the boat going to Goree Island, and only the cable was there. The laptop was gone. My cry at that point was not just that the laptop was gone, but if I go
the reason for which you were there,
and we were supposed to be paid some sum of money, and I'm a Nigerian, and I arrived that place without even my presentation. The presentation is there, the other one, because we did it in 2 forms, the PowerPoint, and then the Microsoft Word they were supposed to publish in a book. The luck I had was that after doing that thing, I saved it in a flash, this flash that is like an ATM card like this, and put it in my wallet.
Wow.
The one I saved was an earlier copy because I had to send it out to friends to help me review and see whether this thing is worthy of what you are presenting at an international conference. But that laptop, a Toshiba laptop, got missing at this airport here. Between the time I came down from the plane to drop it for those guys to tag it and put it in the belly of the plane.
The
and
laptop
the time we
was
arrived
gone.
in Dakar,
Okay.
my laptop was gone. So the
Quickly.
people who do these things are staff of that airport. You cannot go and attack a plane on the wrong way without first passing through
Exactly.
all the how many gates
Yes.
to the tarmac. You cannot forget what what's the other people that had their exit door, emergency exit door.
Ghana.
They don't understand what they're talking about because anytime I'm in a plane, once you're there,
Once
there's
you
a
have to
briefing.
sit, yes, they brief you
Please,
specially.
can you sit here before they even start making?
Can you help anybody?
Can you help anybody,
If there's
or
an
are you so
emergency?
scared? If you
can't, they move
can't,
you.
they move you.
Exactly.
You understand? I've witnessed that. I've sat on that place, and I actually love that place because it has a lot of leg room.
Yes, I love it.
You understand? Yeah. So I love that.
So
place.
maybe in the course of leg room, someone kicked the door.
You
kick it
pull
like
that
this.
thing inside. You lift it.
It's
pull
not
it
a door
inside,
that opens
and then
ordinarily.
turn
I
it
know
like this
that.
and turn
I
it
know.
away. So it is not a
It's
door
that you can
and
just-
there's no way
exactly.
a passenger sitting next to that person wouldn't have noticed that this person is
Person
actually
is
not
trying to. All right, our time is fast running. Quickly, in 10 seconds, say something about this.
No, I mean he's covered everything. What would Tiwa Savage have to, or Wizkid have to lie about that?
this? Yes.
I mean,
Mr.
Frankem has
Kupolui.
covered
Well,
everything.
we need to get our aviation industry right. We need to put some policies that will
place.
ensure that airline companies or platforms like Dana get punished. Some time ago on social media, we saw how a particular, I think it was Dana actually, was using sellotapes, to get their seats
Wow, marked.
marked and then of course, to be well fixed.
Wow.
We saw all this, it happened.
All
so
right.
we really need a policy that will make sure our aviation
The
industry.
policies are there. Who are the ones?
I'm
We
afraid,
have too many policies.
I'm afraid
and
we
that's
have to
our
go.
problem.
Our
No,
time
that's
is seriously up. Our time is up. Maybe we'll bring back this topic again another time and discuss it. Many thanks to Mr. Biodun Kupolui. Thank you, sir, for coming. Thank you, Esosa. I enjoyed having you on the show. Thank you, Esosa Sagede. And thanks to Mr. Ike Mokuhu.
Thank you.
Thank you,
I
sir,
thought we
for
were going
coming.
to discuss the status.
Yeah, we'll bring the
Oh,
Zuma statue.
We should
I
have
thought
discussed
we
that
were going to
You
statue.
like sensation.
Because
All right, we'll see you tomorrow at noon. Join us for a fresh edition of The Buzz. Enjoy the rest of your day.